What's up, Gules? Welcome back to another video of Talking Tiki-Taka. So this has been one of the matches that we have been looking forward to for a long period of time, especially if you are a Brazil fan, because we have some scores to settle with Argentina. And before I get into the tactical side of things, which I cannot really get into elaborate details because international football is not something that I watch on a regular basis, especially since the days of Dorival Jr. took over the Brazil national team, the overall interest towards international football has been a little on the lesser side. So purely from a fan perspective and purely from an audience perspective, let's get one thing absolutely straight right from the offset, is that Argentina at this moment in time, tactically, on paper, and also from a basis of form, is a significantly superior side to Brazil. They are pretty much, I wouldn't say miles ahead there, but there is a clear distance between Argentina and Brazil. Most of it is down to the manager Scaloni and the manager that we have, Dorival Jr., about whom I cannot really even talk because this video will turn into 18 plus if I really talk about Brazil manager. So the point of difference has been Scaloni for the course of last 3-4 years, and this difference that I'm talking about between Brazil and Argentina has been developing for the course of last 10 years almost. I would go as far as to say that the difference started building right from the 2014 World Cup, which was supposed to be a World Cup that Brazil were favorites to win. It was in Brazil. Neymar was peaking. All the team was revolving around Neymar, and we had a decent manager. So everything seemed in our favor. All the stars were sort of lining up to lift the sixth trophy for Brazil. But then we saw Messi being Messi, Argentina again rallying behind this iconic number 10 and going on to the final, and then a heartbreak happening. But the difference between Brazil and Argentina started developing right at that point in time. So it has been quite a while now that Brazil has been playing catch up, and it has really taken its toll on the players, on the management, and also on the fans as well. From a Brazilian fan perspective, I have not seen, ever since I have started watching football, my introduction to football started with the 2002 World Cup, watching Brazil lift it, and that's where pretty much I have become a fan of since. And watching players like Ronaldinho, Kaká, Pelé, didn't see Pele, but Rivaldo, Romario, all those legendary names, all those highlights, Roberto Carlos, some of the Madrid players that I've really enjoyed play for Brazil. It's been amazing, Marcelo, Dani Alves, and so on and so forth. So from that kind of history and that kind of past, right now we are going through a transition of ourselves. Being a Barcelona fan, I know all too well what transitions are all about, and how annoying can it be if it sort of drags along for a long period of time. But right now, as a Brazil fan, I think the transition is almost as bad, the transition that we have been facing for Barcelona in last almost over a decade. So this match is significant for quite a few reasons. If Brazil gets outplayed by Scaloni and Argentina one more time without Lionel Andres Messi, without Di Maria, that should send out a very clear message, a very crystal clear message to Brazilian Football Federation. For whatever reason, they think they somehow have calculated in their mind, they somehow have conjured up this thought that Dorival Jr. is the man for Brazil. It couldn't be any further from the truth. This is insane. This is insanity to think a board like Brazil's, a team like Brazil is being handled by an incompetent, unreliable, and absolutely zero tactics kind of manager. That is Dorival Jr. I couldn't be any, even if I wanted to, I couldn't be any harsher with my words on this guy. This guy is making this team look ridiculous. Ridiculous. Brazil cannot play the Brazilian way of football under this guy. It's impossible. And if you look at the kind of attack we have, we do not have the best midfield in the world. Let's get that pretty straight. Argentina, when it comes to pound for pound having players on the midfield, they're significantly better. McAllister, absolutely world class. I think McAllister, barring Lionel Messi, is the best player Argentina has right now. He is just absolute class. Then Enzo Fernandez is, I would say, could be hit or miss, but he's again a decent midfielder. Then who else plays in Argentina's midfield? Simeone is he a midfielder? I don't think so. He's a winger probably. But Enzo Fernandez, top notch, McAllister, world class. You have two very solid midfielders, and then up front, this is where Argentina is going to struggle against Brazil. I'm seeing a lot of hype around Almada, but let's not get carried away. He's no replacement for Messi. Not not by a country mile. Let's not get carried away. Yes, he scored an amazing goal, absolutely promising youngster and so on. So whatever, but he is not filling the boots of Lionel Messi. Even Di Maria couldn't fully fill in the boots of Lionel Messi. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. These are promising players, and yes, Simeone seems like a promising prospect as well. But in the absence of Lautaro Martinez, I think Argentina is going a little bit toothless against Brazil, and Alvarez alone cannot carry the weight of the attacking prowess for Argentina. So in the midfield, they have a clear upper hand. I'm seeing a lot of hype regarding Cuti, Romero and Otamendi as well. You can call me biased on this, but I do not see them as world-class center-backs right now. Otamendi was a world-class center-back. Right now, he is not. Let's again not kid ourselves. He's playing in Benfica. He's way down the pecking order when it comes to the best center backs in the world. Right now, I think Argentina doesn't have the best defensive lineup in world football. I honestly do not feel so. Cuti Romero has been playing in Tottenham for a long period of time, and Tottenham has been a substandard team. In fact, one of the worst, let's say, top teams in Premier League. So if you are a defender there, I do not sweat myself over facing Cuti Romero or Otamendi if I'm in the Brazil dugout. So primarily, the biggest threat that Argentina can pose to Brazil is through the midfield, because they have some pretty world-class midfielders. Other than that, not having Lionel Messi, not having Lautaro Martinez leaves them a little bit high and dry up front, and at the back, Cuti Romero and Otamendi versus Vini Jr. and Rafinha, I would take that deal any day. I might be proven absolutely wrong here, but just on the basis of pure statistics and the form that we have seen in Europe, for me, that's a mismatch. The only way sort of Brazil gets leveled up in that situation is by the idiot that we have on the dugout called Dorival Jr. He will not be able to sort of synchronize our midfield in a certain manner that we can make the most out of our forwards that we have, and it's absolutely crazy having Vinicius Jr., having Rafinha, having Rodrigo at the form of their life. It's crazy how we are not scoring 3, 4, 5 goals every single match. I wouldn't have mind a bit if we conceded 2 goals, 3 goals every single match, long as we scored 4 or 5 goals, because we have the best attacking lineup in the world, maybe on par with France. And if you take Lionel Messi out of the equation, I definitely say that with utmost confidence that Brazil has the strongest attacking lineup after France, or let's say on par with France. So in that kind of context and in that kind of scenario, you cannot really expect to win matches by 1 goal, scrap off matches with nil-nil score lines. That's absolutely criminal, and that's doing proper injustice to the fans and every single football lover out there who enjoys the football that Brazil and this national team represented for years and years. This is a complete scam that we fans are facing right now in the form of Brazilian football. And why I have sort of mentioned Rafinha in my post leading up to this match, that for a long period of time I felt that we collectively, the fans and the players and the management, we have lost that flair in Brazil. We have lost that bit of oomph. We have lost that bit of pride. The exact case happened with Barcelona. And what happened is there came on certain players like Rafinha, came on certain managers like Hans-Dieter Flick, who revived that pride, who revived that flair, who revived that aggression. A lot of you do not like Lamine Yamal, a lot of you do not like Rafinha, a lot of you do not like how sort of our youngsters speak up. Yes, it can be arrogant at times, it can be a little bit, let's say a little bit naughty at times, but this is exactly what Barcelona have been missing for years and years now. We had lost that pride, we had lost that confidence in ourselves, we lost that ability to even banter our opponents. That's how sort of big the fall from grace was for us. And the same case happened with Brazil as well. So when these players come out and say something like, okay, we're going to screw Argentina, the current world champions, yes, it's offensive, it can get under the skin of a lot of fans, but I absolutely loved it because we have lost that aggression, because we forgot what it meant to wear the Brazilian national team's jersey. Even to this day, the Brazilian national kit is the heaviest with the highest numbers of stars. Yes, I'm talking about pride and history, but we lost that pride. We lost that standard that we needed to carry. We lost that flair. And now we need to dance ourselves back into the field. Unfortunately, that will not happen under Dorival Jr. That's the case. And in short, what I am going to sort of say is, in terms of the match, simply put, Argentina is a superior team to Brazil because we do not have any manager, and Argentina has one of the best international managers in recent years, so he will be the point of difference. But in the absence of Lionel Messi, in the absence of Lautaro Martinez, I feel squad wise, on paper, Brazil has clearly a better squad than Argentina, but we cannot do anything if we do not get our tactics right. And since we do not have a manager, it will be eventually down to the individual players to get their job done, in which case I have to talk about one guy, and this will be the end part of this video, Vinicius Jr. Dude, I absolutely love you when you flop for Real Madrid, but you gotta win this match for us, man. You have to, because we do not have a manager, we do not have a proper backline. We must see you do your stuff, become that Ballon d'Or winner, contender, or whatever, and you have to carry this team. Rafinha is my captain. I absolutely love Rafinha. Rafinha is amazing, but Rafinha is not Vinicius Jr. They are two very completely different profiles. What Vinicius Jr. can do, no other footballer in that Brazil squad can do. He's a showmanship, he's a dribbler, he's an absolute menace to the defense. Rafinha drives the team, and Vinicius Jr. will drive the scoreline. There is a difference between these two things, and Rafinha needs to do his job, Vinicius Jr. needs to do his job. It cannot be either or. It cannot be Rafinha having the best of days, Vinicius Jr. not even being able to dribble past one single player. That will not do for Brazil. That will not do for that idiot of a manager. So guys, this is going to be a great match, and this is going to be somewhat of a level playing field for Brazil, because two of their biggest stars are not going to be on the match, and that's unfortunate from a Brazilian perspective, that we are actually having to count on Argentina missing some players to have a level playing field. But that's the reality of things, and that's how things are. Unfortunately, we all can see it, but those who are in charge of selecting the manager for this national team cannot see it. That's absolutely ludicrous, and I cannot make any sense out of it. But hopefully we can get this win, and after this win we will be in a more comfortable situation in the table, and after that we can sort of, hopefully these guys can concentrate more on building this team. And in that hope, let's get ready for the match. And if you want this flag, you can get it for 5% off before the match happens. Get it from Formation TV. Let me know your prediction, and see you at the day of the match. Hopefully there will be a live watch along.